Hello students, in today's class let us continue with the miscellaneous exercise in complex numbers and quadratic equations. Hope you all completed the remaining problems. So let us go ahead with this. 12th question, let z1 is 2 minus I, z2 is minus 2 plus I. Find real part of z1 z2 divided by z1 bar and imaginary part of 1 by z1 z1 bar. This is what your question. So to find the real part of this, first we should know what is this, right? So let us first find what is z1 into z2. So z1 z2, which is equals to z1 is 2 minus I, z2 is minus 2 plus I. So let us multiply it term by term. 2 into minus 2, it will become minus 4, plus 2 into I is 2I, minus into minus it will become plus 2I, plus into minus it is minus, I into I is I square. So which is equals to minus 4 plus 4I, I square will become minus 1, minus into minus it will become plus 1. So minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3 plus 4I is your z1 z2 and denominator is z1 bar. Now let us find what is z1 bar. z1 bar means conjugate of z1. What is your z1? 2 minus I is your z1. Then its conjugate is going to be 2 plus I. So we found what is z1 z2 and what is z1 bar. Now we need the quotient of z1 z2 and z1 bar, right? So which is equals to minus 3 plus 4I divided by 2 plus I. If we have I in the denominator, we cannot segregate the real part and the imaginary part. So we need to express it in the form of A plus IB in the standard form. So how will we can do this? Multiply and divide by its conjugate. So it will become a numerator again term by term multiplication. Minus 3 into 2 is minus 6. Minus into minus is plus 3I plus 8I plus into minus is minus 4I square. Divided by denominator will be A plus B into A minus B identity. 2 square is 4. We will get minus I square. So it will become plus 1. Hope you understood. By this time you should know how we got plus 1 here. So I square is minus 1. So already we have minus here. So this will become plus 4. Right? Minus 6 plus 4. It will become minus 2 plus 8 plus 3 is 11I divided by 5, which is nothing but minus 2 by 5 plus 11 by 5I. So this is z1 z2 divided by z1 bar. So what is real part of z1 z2 divided by z1 bar now? Which is nothing but minus 2 by 5. That's all. If suppose they asked for imaginary part, you should write only 11 by 5. Yes, hope you understood. So whatever is asked, first you find what is this and then try to express it in the standard form A plus IB. Then you write what is the real part of that. Hope you will do the second subdivision by your own in the same way. Here they asked imaginary part of 1 by z1 z1 bar. So first find what is 1 by z1 z1 bar. z1 into z1 bar. z1 bar is going to be the conjugate of z1, which means the denominator we will get 2 minus I into 2 plus I, right? So immediately you can apply A plus B into A minus B identity directly in the denominator. So you will get 4 plus 1, 5. So you will get 1 by 5 directly. So which doesn't have any I. So imaginary part is 0 there. Therefore imaginary part of 1 by z1 z1 bar is going to be 0. Right? I have explained fully. I am leaving it to you. So complete the second subdivision. Let us move on to the next question now. See the 14th question. What is given? Find the real numbers x and y if x minus iy into 3 plus 5i is the conjugate of minus 6 minus 24i. That is this value, this complex number is the conjugate of minus 6 minus 24i, which means minus 6 minus 24i the whole bar. They asked you to find what is x and y, right? So what can we do here? We will just simplify this, try to express it in the standard form, and then we can compare the real and imaginary parts to get the values of x and y. That is the idea behind it. Now let us solve it. X minus iy into 3 plus 5i, which is equals to conjugate of this. Again and again I am repeating, remember, when we are writing a conjugate of a complex number, you should change only the sign of an imaginary part. Real part sign should remain as such. So this is going to be minus 6. Imaginary part sign is minus, so it will become plus 24i. Right? Now you multiply this term by term to express it in the form of a plus ib, that is standard form. So it will become 3x plus 5xi minus 3yi, plus into minus is minus 5yi square, right, which is equals to minus 6 plus 24i. So this will become 3x plus 5x minus 3y into I, minus into minus, it will become plus. How I got another minus? Because I square, 5y, which is equals to minus 6 plus 24i. So 3x plus 5y plus 5x minus 3y into I, which is equals to minus 6 plus 24i. Right? Now we expressed in the a plus ib format, in the standard form. Now comparing the real and imaginary parts on both sides, what we will get? 3x plus 5y is the real part here. This side it is minus 6. And imaginary part is 5x minus 3y. Here it is 24. Now we got two equations. So try to eliminate any one variable. They cannot be eliminated directly. So multiply by a common number to eliminate one variable. Let us go with y variables because they have the alternate sign. So I am going to multiply first equation by 3. 3 3s are 9x plus 5 3s are 15y, which is equals to 6 3s are 18. Second equation I am going to multiply it by 5. 25x minus 15y, 120. Right? Now these two will get cancelled. 14 balance 134x. What is 120 minus 18? It is going to be, so which is 102. 120 minus 18 is 102. So the value of x is 102 divided by 34. If you cancel it, you will get 3. So substitute the value of x in any one of the equation. I am substituting in the first equation. 3 into 3 plus 5y equals to minus 6. So 9 plus 5y equals to minus 6. 5y equal to minus 6 minus 9, which is minus 15. So this implies y equal to minus 3. 5 3s are 15, right? So the value of x is plus 3 and the value of y is minus 3. Yes, hope you understood. Let us move on to the next question. This is also mere calculation only. Given x plus y, iy the whole cube equals to u plus iv, we need to show that u by x plus v by y equal to 4 into x square minus y square. As usual, let us start our solution from the given part. X plus iy the whole cube, which is equals to u plus iv. Right? So let us expand using a plus b the whole cube. A cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b equals to u plus iv, right? So what is our a is x, b is iy. So x cube, what is I cube? I cube is I square into I cube is I square into I square is minus 1, so minus I. So this will become minus iy plus multiply it. 3 into x, it will become 3x square yi, right? Then plus multiply with the second term. First we multiplied this with this, then with this. These are all complete term, right? So it will become 3x I into I, it will become I square, y into y, it will become y square equals to u plus iv. Kindly don't make mistake with this, do it carefully. So it will become x cube minus iy plus 3x square yi. I square will become minus 1, so minus 3xy square equals to u plus iv, right? Now let us combine the real and imaginary part. So first and the last term will become real part, x cube minus 3xy square, right, plus I into minus y plus 3x square y, which is equals to u plus iv. Now comparing the real and imaginary parts, this implies what is the value of u? U is the real part here, x cube minus 3xy square, and what is our v? This is the imaginary part, minus y plus 3x square y. Yes. Now what we need to show that u by x plus v by y. Now u by x plus v by y, which is equals to, what is our u? X cube minus 3xy square divided by x, which is plus, what is our v? Minus y plus 3x square y divided by y, right? Now let us take x common from the numerator. We will get x square minus 3y square divided by x plus, let us take y common from the numerator. We will get 3x square minus 1. I have written this term first to avoid minus in the first term. If you want, you can write in the same order, that's not a problem. Divided by y. So y will get cancelled, x will get cancelled. We got x square minus 3y square. Since we have taken it as a common, you can cancel it. Or else you should not cancel this x with this x cube. Right, this x is common for both the terms. After taking the common term only, you should cancel it. These are all basic things which people will make mistake. Plus 3x square minus 1, right? See, I made a mistake here. Kindly don't do this mistake. I y the whole cube, we have cubed only I, we should cube y also, so this will become y cube, right? This will become y cube. Kindly don't do this mistake as I did. This will become y cube. Do it carefully, step by step. So this will become y cube. So I have taken y as common, so here we will get y square, right? So this will become y square. Now add x square term, 3x square plus x will become 4x square, minus 3x square minus y square will become minus 4y square. So if you take 4 as common, you will get x square minus y square. That's what we need to prove, right? So you can write hence proved. Yes, so kindly avoid this mistake what I did. Sorry for the mistake which I committed. Don't do it when you are solving it. Do it step by step. This is I cube and then y cube. This cube is for both I and y. Do it step by step. Yes, hope you understood. So what we did here, we have expanded the given thing, and then we have compared the real and the imaginary parts. Then we found the values of u and v, and then we substituted in the question. That's it, right? Hope you understood. Now let us solve the next question. What is given? Alpha and beta are different complex numbers with modulus of beta equals to 1. They asked you to find modulus of beta minus alpha divided by 1 minus alpha bar beta, right? So we need to find this. So before finding this, let us assume the values of alpha and beta. You can assume any number. Actually, I started with x1 plus I y1 and x2 plus I y2. But since this involves modulus and all, we will be having square, x square, y squared. So when we are writing that, we should write the suffix also. x1 square, y1 square, x2 square. So we should not feel confusing or difficult to write both suffix and the powers. So to avoid all those confusions, I have taken a, b, c, d. It's your wish, you can assume your own complex numbers. So I have assumed alpha as a plus ib and beta as c plus id. Also given that modulus of beta is equals to 1. That is, what is modulus of beta definition? Square root of real part square plus imaginary part square. C square plus d square equals to 1. Or c square plus d square is going to be 1 square, which is also 1. So we have c square plus d square as 1. Right? Now keep it aside. Now let us find what is beta minus alpha divided by 1 minus alpha bar beta. What is beta? C plus id minus of alpha. Kindly put brackets when you have minus. Divided by 1 minus what is alpha bar? Conjugate of alpha. So a minus ib, beta is c plus id. Right? Now let us write it in the form of a plus ib to take the modulus. Then only it will be easy to take the modulus, right? So what will happen to the numerator now? C plus id minus a, plus into minus is minus ib, whole divided by 1 minus, first multiply this and then we can multiply it by minus, ac plus iad minus ibc minus I square bd. I square will become minus 1. So minus into minus plus bd. Right? So which is equals to c minus a into plus I d minus b. D minus b. The whole divided by 1 minus ac. Right? So minus IAD minus into minus plus IBC minus into plus is minus BD. Yes, this is equals to C minus A plus I into D minus B, the whole divided by, now let us write this as real and imaginary parts separately. So this will become 1 minus AC minus BD plus I into BC minus AD. I am writing BC first to avoid negative in the first term. BC minus AD. Right? Thus we found what is beta minus alpha divided by 1 minus alpha bar beta. Now we need to find the modulus of this. So modulus of this. And we have learnt modulus of Z1 divided by Z2 is equals to modulus of Z1 divided by modulus of Z2. Right? We know this. Therefore, what are we going to do this? We are going to find the modulus of numerator separately and denominator separately. Right? So we are going to find the modulus of the numerator and the denominator separately. So what is modulus of z? Square root of a square plus b square, real part square plus imaginary part square. So real part is c minus a the whole square plus imaginary part d minus b the whole square, the whole divided by square root of real part square 1 minus AC minus BD the whole square plus imaginary part square BC minus AD the whole square. Right? Now we are going to expand using a minus b the whole square identity. So square root of c square plus a square minus 2ac plus d square plus b square minus 2bd, the whole divided by denominator. Again we are going to expand using a plus b plus c the whole square identity. A square plus b square, a square c square plus c square b square d square plus 2ab plus 2 into a into b value is minus ac. Here when we square it, it will become plus only. So we have left that minus. plus 2bc. BC, right? First we have written 2AB, then BC minus AC into minus BD plus 2CA. CA is minus BD into 1. We have expanded only this term. Now we need to expand this using A minus B, the whole square identity. So this will become B square C square plus B square A square D square minus 2AB 2BCAD, right? Slowly you have to do this calculation. After this, what happened? See, I have expanded it. C square plus D square I have combined it together. Since we know C square plus D square is equals to 1, because which is given in the question. So I have combined C square plus D square together and remaining terms A square plus B square, and from this we can take minus 2 common. So we will get AC plus BD, the whole divided by square root of 1 plus A square plus C square plus B square D square minus 2AC. 2 into 1 into AC minus 2AC. This minus into minus will become plus 2ABCD, right? Again plus into minus is minus 2BD plus B square C square plus A square D square minus 2ABCD. So plus 2ABCD minus 2ABCD will get cancelled. Numerator, instead of C square plus D square, I have replaced it by 1. And denominator, again C, again we know C square and plus D square is 1. So I have taken A square common from these two terms. So we will get C square plus D square. Similarly, from these two terms, B square D square and B square C square, I have taken B square common. Again we left with C square plus D square. Minus from these two terms, minus 2 if we take common, we will get AC plus BD. So again C square plus D square we can replace it with 1. So numerator will remain as such, denominator will become 1 plus A square plus B square minus 2AC plus 2 into AC plus BD. So both numerator and denominator we got the same terms, so it will get cancelled. So the answer is 1, right? Hope you understood. It's mere calculation only. So it depends how are you doing the calculations without making any mistakes, right? Now the next question is, find the number of non-zero integral solutions of the equation modulus of 1 minus I the whole power x equals to 2 power x. Now let us solve this equation. What is modulus of a complex number? Which is square root of real part square plus imaginary part square. So 1 square plus, what is imaginary part here? Minus 1. I am repeating again and again, blindly don't write I square here. You should not write I in the while expanding, while writing modulus, right? The definition of modulus says x square plus y square only. You should not write y there. So what is the value of y here? X plus iy. So minus 1 the whole square, the whole power x is there, don't forget, 2 power x. So which is square root of 1 plus 1 the whole power x, which is equals to 2 power x. What is 1 plus 1? Square root of 2 the whole power x is equals to 2 power x. Only when the base are same we can equate the powers, right? Here we have root 2. How can you write 2 in terms of root 2? Root 2 into root 2. So root 2 square will give you 2. Root 2 into root 2 is 2. So 2 can be written as square root of 2 the whole square, and we have whole power x. So which is nothing but square root of 2 power 2x. Here we have root 2 the whole power x, right? Now equate the powers. What we will get? X is equals to 2x, right? Or x minus 2x equals to 0. What is x minus 2x? Minus x, right? Minus x equals to 0 or x equal to 0. Therefore x equal to 0 is the only integral solution of the equation, right? They asked for a non-zero integral solution. Therefore the number of non-zero integral solutions of the given equation is only 0. It doesn't have non-zero solution, right? The only solution of the equation is 0. You can write therefore the only integral solution of the given equation is x is equals to 0. Hope you understood. So we just expanded the definition of modulus and then we made the base same in order to equate the powers. So x minus 2x equals to 0, we will get x is equals to 0. Therefore the only integral solution is x equals to 0. Yes, let us move on to the next question now. Now let us solve the next question. It is very easy. Given a plus ib into c plus id, e plus if into g plus ih equals to a plus ib. They asked you to prove this. On looking at this itself, immediately what should strike your mind? Modulus definition, right? So we are going to take modulus on both sides, and we know very well modulus of z1 z2 is nothing but modulus of z1 into modulus of z2, right? We know this. So using this result we can find the modulus separately and we can multiply, right? So what is modulus? Square root of a square plus b square into this is square root of c square plus d square. Likewise we can do it for each and every complex number. Now square on both sides, what will happen? Since it is under multiplication, it's an added benefit. If it is plus, when you are squaring it, it will become a plus b the whole square, right? Since it is under multiplication, we can write all these terms under a single square root. That's why when squaring on both sides, all the square root will get cancelled. We will end up with the required answer, right? Very easy problem. Let us move on to the next question. What is given? 1 plus I the divided by 1 minus I the whole power m equals to 1. They asked you to find the least positive integral value of m. First, let us resolve this by multiplying by its conjugate. So numerator, which is a plus b the whole square, divided by a plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. But when it comes to complex number, you will get plus, right? So 1 square plus 1. Why it is 1? Because the coefficient of I is 1. It will become 1 minus I square. Minus into minus, it is plus 1. By this time you should know how we got this. I hope you understood. So the numerator, again you expand it using a plus b the whole square identity. 1 a square plus b square plus 2ab divided by 2. I square is minus 1, so plus 1 minus 1 will get cancelled. 2i divided by 2 the whole power m. 2 will get cancelled, so we ended up with I power m is equals to 1. So how can we write in terms of I? First of all, why should we write 1 in terms of I? What is the need for this? As I told in the previous problem, only if the bases are same we can equate the powers. Why we should equate the powers? Because we need to find the value of m. M is there only in the power. So in order to find the value of power, we need to have the same base. So try to express 1 in terms of I. We know I square is minus 1. So when does this I value will become positive 1? Only when we multiply I square into I square, we will get plus 1, right? So we need I power 4 basically. So if it is I power multiples of 4, it will become positive 1. If it is going to be I power multiples of 2, it is going to be minus 1 the whole power multiple of 2. Hope you understood. So the basic need for to be 1 is I power multiples of 4. So that's why we have written 4k. Now the bases are same, so we can equate the powers m equals to 4k. They asked you to find the least positive integral value. So what is the least positive integer? 1, right? Non-zero integer 1. So we are substituting the value of k as 1. Only if we put the least value for k, we can get the least value for m, right? So if we substitute k is equals to 1, we got m is equals to 4. So 4 is the least positive integral value of m. Hope you understood. Yes. Now do these two questions in the miscellaneous exercise as homework and go through the entire chapter. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. As I told you, on Thursday you will be writing a a test on all the 5 chapters. So go through each and every topic, each and every concept, and practice yourself, train yourself, and if you have any doubts you can ask me anytime, right? Thank you, students.